YouTube, we are back. Another episode of Will It Fit, where we explore different wheel and tire fitments on some of the most popular platforms out there right now. And you might recall that we've already done a brand new 4th gen Tacoma, right? So why are we doing another? Well, we got a lot of comments on the last video, specifically concerning the wheel offset. And, you know, they wanted to see another video where the wheels didn't stick out so much, and we listened. We're here. We're going to show you another 2024 Tacoma project. Similar size tires, everything, except this time the wheels are not sticking out as far. Scott of HTW Motorsports here in Upland, California, kind of run us through what these guys did to make this all work. But first, Scott, how long you been in business here?
In Upland for 40 years.
40 years. So how did you...
Family-owned operation. My dad started it 40 years ago.
Right on. And so when he started it 40 years ago, probably lift kits and truck customization was not really much of a thing. So what did the business start as?
Lots of tires.
Tire shop. Good old tire shop.
And wheels, yes, that's
all right.
it.
And then about what time did you take over and start kind of changing up the business?
Basically, in about 1990, I took over, and from then on, me and my brother have ran the business. And
right on. Well, they've been gracious enough to take some time out of their day. We're here shooting in the back alley because they're so jam-packed, hustling in the shop.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
yes.
they're busy. And we didn't want to hear all those air guns, right?
Yep.
So we are out here in the back alley again, filming, but let's talk about this Tacoma. All right.
Okay, so first off, we were supplied a 1.5 leveling kit from Rough Country. We installed that in there, aligned it. That was set. Then Black Rhino supplied 17x9 zero offset. Normally on these new 24 Tacomas, we would not run that offset because they do stick way out. But being that Rough Country supplied these brand new 24 Fender Flares, now the offset's lined up perfectly with this, and you wouldn't want it in farther.
Yeah, so just like we mentioned, you guys didn't like seeing the tires stick out so much. So look, this is how they solved that. They got these nice looking flares here. There's no pocket style. They look super clean. From a distance, we weren't even sure if they were like factory.
And direct bolt-on, very easy installation. Yeah, everything else, as far as we removed the mud flap and the bracket, that was the only thing required with the offset that we ran. And we were running a 33-inch tire at P285 7017, the new Falken AT4. Great tire. We run the P metric on this because it's a smaller truck. You don't need the LT, which would make it ride very rough. And yeah, so that's what you guys like.
That's what, yeah, that's what we do, right? So yes. Like you said, this is the non-LT, what is often referred to as P metric version. 285 70R17, so the sidewall is not going to be as stiff.
Right.
It's also got a longer tread life than the LT version. Our tread life warranty on the P metrics is actually longer.
Some people do for off-roading would want the LT for you know, stronger sidewall.
So in this particular size, if you were to get the LT 285 70R17, you would get the 3-ply Duraspec sidewall. So that would be one consideration between the P metric and the LT version. Correct. If you're doing a lot of off-roading and you want that extra sidewall durability. But that does come at the cost of more weight and a rougher ride. So correct. You got to kind of weigh the pros and cons here and decide what's really important to you. You talked about this Rough Country lift or level. Would that be level? Level would be the right word. Okay, front only.
Rear is completely stock, and it is, as you can see, almost perfectly level.
It is sitting very nicely. So what does that level consist of? Is it just a spacer for
It's a spacer.
Just a spacer, okay.
A strut spacer in the top, yeah.
Yeah, and then you mentioned aligning it. Was that
alignment?
Was that an issue?
You have to just align it after you do that because it changes all the geometry.
It does, I know, I know. But sometimes it can be harder and you got to install like camber kits.
No, not unless
like that.
You don't, no.
So just we're back to factory alignment. No big
and they
deal.
usually, the reason why they're doing an 1.5 inches is because they changed the trucks and they're not as sloped down as they used to be. So, and then plus you want to make sure all the angles are correct for the control arm, which they are.
So as Scott mentioned, the guys removed a bracket here as well as the mud flap. which in our previous video on the Tacoma, you'll notice that they did as well. But what they didn't do was remove this front valance. And we have moved it 20 different times around here in this tight little alley, parking lot, whatever, and it still did not rub. So I don't know if under full flex and hard cornering, you're gonna get some rub.
It should be fine, but if you want to, that can always be trimmed or taken off.
Yeah, exactly. So again, that seems like another optional thing to do here. And you guys did not trim any sheet metal or anything like that, correct?
Nope. No drilling. Everything bolt on, direct fit.
Yep. So was a zero offset popular for Tacomas?
Yes,
yeah,
very popular.
Prior generation, zero
very
offset.
Popular, zero offset. Yeah. But now, like if we're not running the Fender Flares, I recommend a plus offset wheel, 17 8.5, with probably like a plus 25, plus 20, plus 30. But most of the ones that everyone's building right now for the Tacomas is a plus 25 and a 17 8.5. That's what they seem to be doing, and that's when you don't have to run the Fender Flares, and it will be flush as well.
Right.
Slightly aggressive. They come out maybe like a half an inch.
So when you run that plus 25, do you have any clearance issues with the upper control arms or anything like that?
Nope.
No?
Nope. Everything's good.
Okay. So that's another option for ensuring that your wheels don't stick out. You either do some Fender Flares, which I think adds a nice touch, or you get that positive offset, which brings the tire in further.
Yep. Now, the Ranger trucks and Broncos, that's the same wheel specs as these now. So same hub bore, same everything. It's
so this has the same
hub.
This has the same hub bore as the new
Rangers and Broncos.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
So now
same bolt pattern.
Right.
So fortunately, that requires a higher offset, and so the wheel companies already had those, which is great.
I know previously a lot of guys would buy Tacoma wheels or Toyota lug pattern wheels and put them on their Broncos and Rangers, but then they had to run hub bore adapters spacers, to make sure that you were getting it centered there on the hub bore.
Yeah, the ideal, most people aren't going to put Fender Flares on for the most part. I mean, unless you talk them into it. So the ideal thing is a plus offset wheel. 17 8.5 plus offset is the best fitment. 18s too.
Have you worked on any of the new Tundras?
Yes.
They're back to the same
same bore,
pattern. Same bore size,
same
too?
hub bore and everything.
Wow.
Yeah, they changed the lug nuts on the new Tacomas to 14 millimeter.
Which is the same as Tundra?
Same as Tundra.
Okay. So we got a little bit of consolidation. And I guess making things a little easier for the aftermarket industry, right?
Yep.
I forgot to mention, but this again is an SR5 model.
Correct.
Have you had any of the TRDs in the shop yet?
We just did a TRD.
So when you do a TRD, I know they're a little taller from the factory, right?
A little, but not very much.
Not much?
Not much.
So you still end up doing some kind of level on them or something?
Yep. Yeah, we still did the same actually level, and it worked out great. I did run a plus offset with the 285, and the same thing. We removed the flare in the bracket. I mean the mud flap in the bracket, and so.
Right on. No, it looks really good, and really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day. I know you're a busy man, shop owner, running a business.
Thank you.
You can't spare a lot of time. So again, really appreciate it and appreciate you having us out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Scott. And again, always looking for suggestions.
Yep.
Check out our other videos if you haven't already. Maybe we've got the application you want to see covered. If not, drop it in the comments. Let us know what you want to see next. We know Tacomas are hot. Everybody loves tacos. I love tacos. He loves tacos.
Taco Tuesday.
It's not Tuesday, but we can pretend.
Yeah, exactly. The tacos every day.
Tacos every day. But yeah, we're interested. Maybe we want to see a Cybertruck. See a Cybertruck? Let's do a Cybertruck. I don't know. Maybe we'll make it happen. We'll do our best. Anyway, that's it for Will It Fit?
Thank you.
We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.